That was
good.
That was a jab.
They were throwing him. They were both throwing him. I love this one. They got some shots off. Dillon Brooks' shot, to me, hit the hardest. When he said, I'm not out there getting in physical altercations with my teammates. Here's why it hit hardest, Shady. I think Dillon Brooks is what he stated is the only thing that actually is still affecting and impacting basketball. Draymond Green saying it's not a rivalry until they win no chips. Fair. Draymond Green saying, oh, Dillon Brooks' teammates don't even like you. Yeah, that's cute. But when you watch the Warriors play, I think what Dillon Brooks alluded to, that punch, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole prior to the season, all that stuff, that is the one I think that's still impacting the game. I'm going to elaborate on that later, Slick Rick. I heard you making some sounds as you watch it. What'd you think?
Well, yeah, Draymond's talking a lot about then, and we're talking about now. And that was Dillon bringing that up. You're exactly right. That's still impacting this team. And so are they still title contenders? No, I don't believe that they're as bad off as everybody's making it out. I mean, some people have them sliding into the play-in and not even making the playoffs. I need to see Andrew Wiggins back. I need to see Gary Payton Jr. back because that could have a huge influence on their biggest issue, which is defense, which is affecting them on the road, which is why their road record is so bad. So there is an avenue in which they can come back and be meaningful. And as we've pointed out with the Western Conference, with KD down, with Ja out, like the West, Luka Doncic's future uncertain or health issues, injury status. We don't know exactly what the West is. So there is a pathway to get there. But make no mistake, and Draymond and I have talked about this very subject, the punch at the beginning of the year has prevented him from being the leader and the vocal, hold everybody accountable type of guy that he has always been in the past. And so as a result of that, they don't have that same guy who brings them together when things go sideways. And that was one of the most vital things that the Warriors have had. And it's why I don't see that changing between now and June, which is why I see their ability to repeat as champions as not being in the cards.
Joy, are the Warriors still a threat? They still a title threat?
Yes, they are 22-2 in playoff series since 2015. They're 93-34 in the postseason.
That was
pretty good.
Then.
That was then. This is now, but season ain't over yet.
That was last year.
Yeah, season ain't over yet. They still have most of the same core. Now, I hear you. They need to get Wiggins back. They need Peyton back. They need their guys. The road record is daunting.
Abysmal.
But at the end of the day, if I'm going to put some respect on anybody in the West, it's going to be the Warriors.
Fair.
I mean, we look at the teams in the Western Conference playoffs right now. Which of these teams are you taking in the series over Golden State? Clippers? No. Y'all can do that if you want to. Grizzlies? And the series? I know they just won this game, but a series, you got to win a couple of games. The Kings? It's a very nice story.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Warriors.
Right.
At this point, I haven't seen the Nuggets do it to be convinced
You're
that
not
I
wrong.
would take
She
the Warriors.
cooking. She cooking, Joy.
It's all fair.
The Suns with KD,
That's the only one.
that's the only one. Because the Suns without KD, I would still go with the Warriors. So I can't go as far as to say, even with the struggles, that I count them out. You get in the dance, they've been there, done that. And I hear you about Draymond's inability to be a leader in that space. They have some other vocal leaders on this team.
This is the one
guys is right there.
This is the one element. It's just the deeper you go. It's not getting to the playoffs. It's not winning a round. But the deeper you go, the more your depth is tested. And they've been living off of two guys that are two-way players in Tyler Jerome and Anthony Lamb. They don't have, even for last year's team, and this has been an issue from the very beginning of the year, even when they had Wiggins, is they just don't have the same depth that they've had in the past. And that's where I think that is ultimately going to show up. I agree with you. Like, they could beat anyone and anyone could beat them. But that's way more wide open than it's ever been before.
Sure.
I like that. I'm going to go with Joy. I just think that, like, they talk about how they're not good on the road, and a lot of that is the defense. But we look at the defense, like, Andrew Wiggins is a big part of that.
Agreed.
He's the one who's going to take the #1 offensive score on the other team, right? And then I like guys like Kuminga. So we talk about this depth. It's the reason why they went out there and got Peyton, right? They gave up some picks to get him because he was a big reason why they won a championship last year.
Agreed.
Right? So now when you just look at the defense, you look at the depth, well, we missing like 2-3 guys, right? And then the last part is Iguodala. He don't need to be the same guy he used to be, but if you give him a couple minutes to play defense, like just watching him, he hasn't been shooting the ball well from three, but he's been playing solid defense. That's all you need. So now when you look at this depth, if you get the Warriors in the playoffs, like seriously though.
I'm with you.
Nobody want to see them.
I think they're Western Conference threats, but again, for me, watching the Warriors from a bird's eye view, then watching them closer over the last several years, what made the Warriors so good to me was chemistry. It was chemistry. It was camaraderie. It was the fact that they knew where the other player was going to be before they were even there.
Okay.
It was the fact that they always gelled to the point where when they no longer gelled at the end of Kevin Durant's tenure, it was like, hey, you know what, big dog, you go do your thing, and they still won a chip a few years later. I do not think the Warriors have that chemistry that they once had, and I believe it's palpable. We keep talking about Andrew Wiggins with the defense, role players with the defense. What did Draymond Green say just 3 days ago on his podcast? He said, I am the defense. He said, I am the heart, I am the nucleus of this defense. I created this defense. Right. Well, Draymond Green's still out there. But Slick made a point, Shady, I think you can attest to it. We've talked about it before. If you punch a guy in the face, you lose your leeway to be as verbally or physically aggressive as you once had. You lose your leeway publicly. You lose your leeway internally. You lose your leeway externally. At the point in which you publicly sock a guy in the face, or you do it privately, but at least leaks to the masses, that rope is not as long. We have not seen Draymond Green hold people nearly as accountable, as accountable publicly as we have in years past.
So you think that they're not playing well on defense because Draymond punched Poole in the face? You think they're not as good this year because he punched him in his face?
I don't think it is as easy as like to go from A to B, but I do think that is a causation of it. I do think, Shady, that like this team is huge on accountability. They're very big on accountability. And I don't think we have seen the same level of accountability as we have in years past. Bro, we would have typically seen Draymond Green getting dudes' faces before. You remember what happened 2 games ago? Jordan Poole, he didn't pass the ball to Draymond. Draymond Green walks to the left side. Clay tries to pass it. Let's play right here, America.
Yeah, I got you.
Draymond wanted the ball. Poole ain't passing to him. Clay tries to pass it to him late. There's Draymond right there. Turnover. Huh? In an NBA game?
I just think that.
Not high school, too. Like, Shady, this is an NBA game.
It's terrible. I just feel like, man, when you watch this team, like they're not the same Warriors team. They got a lot of guys hurt. Steph Curry's been out. He comes back and hurts again, right? And then we talked about the absence of Andrew Wiggins. Like, obviously, Steph Curry is the best player, and Steph Curry deserved the Finals MVP. But, man, it was close for Wiggins. So as much as you want to blame it on Draymond, and I do think, like, that fighting your teammates and the way he did it and the fashion he did it, that would cause some chaos. But that's not the reason why they're not playing well. They need Andrew Wiggins. They need another defensive force. Them 5 dudes, they know how to play with each other, right? And then you add Poole, the way he's been playing, coming on. So it's more than just that fight or the punch he did.
But here's why I think, Shady, we would be ignorant to ignore that. If you and I, me and Joy, me and Slick and you, if one of us got into an altercation, not even a fight, and now we not doing the same level of laughing before the show, the same level of kicking it after the show, the same level of anything, that's going to be felt on the desk.
Is she here? Is he there?
Yeah.
Because with the Warriors, they're not, like, Wiggins is not there. Peyton's not there. Steph is back and forth. You back and forth. Come on. That counts.
Everything is something. I do think it can influence their communication, as particularly in this time when they don't have all of their guys.
Correct.
That happened. But there are other factors in this.
Correct. Both are true.
It's not the root of this. Like, the root of it is that. It's just making it more difficult. It could be making it more difficult because they had that.
But even when Wiggins was present and available, to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, we weren't seeing during the course of this season the 2020 Finals Andrew Wiggins, who people were talking about could have won the MVP had Steph not gone crazy. Like, we're speaking about Andrew Wiggins as if he had been playing all season long like he was playing in the playoffs last year. That wasn't the case. I know it's nice to say, but that just wasn't true.
That is, you just hit on something that's really important,
ding, ding, ding,
which
ding.
is both Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins. They got rings, and they got paid. Mm-hmm. And now, this is the greatest challenge, is once you've gotten all the accolades and you've gotten the money and you've gotten the ring, how hard are you willing to work to climb that mountain again?
Yeah.
Draymond Green is the guy who's always been behind. No, any new guys coming in, anybody who's been here, this is the standard set. He now doesn't have the ability to do that with guys like Andrew Wiggins, specifically Jordan Poole. And those are the guys you need to be playing the way they did a year ago. And the fact that he doesn't have the ability to hold them accountable is a huge missing piece to them getting back to where they were.
I just want to go back to the pool parties. We ain't had no Jordan pool, ain't had no pool parties. We ain't had talk about the Splash Brothers. I need that again, 2-5. I need that Warrior squad back. And if they get back, then they'll get back right.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.